Wednesday, March 11th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East here along with you, and we have a little bit of a different type of weather forecast today. I'll get into that in just a second. Look at these numbers from yesterday. These are the actual recorded highs across the region for our Tuesday afternoon. 83 in Columbia, 78 in Charlotte. 79 degrees yesterday in Fayetteville, 70s in Greensboro and Raleigh and Wilmington, even 60s in many mountain spots. And let's take a look at the Greensboro and the Charlotte viewing areas. There's a look at a lot of folks in the lower to mid 70s in the Triad region yesterday. In the foothills and Virginia border areas, it was 60s. And then there's the Charlotte Metro. Look at that. Upper 70s. That was nice. What a nice afternoon yesterday. Currently, it's still pretty mild. These are 5:30 a.m. temperatures here on this Wednesday morning. 50s in the mountains, a lot of 60s across the Piedmont. Look at Myrtle Beach sitting at 70 degrees this morning. Feeling a bit like late spring or summer even down that way. All right, here's the setup for today. Low pressure in eastern Tennessee, but the big weather player is that cold front, kind of an elongated front all the way from the northwest Atlantic down to southeastern Louisiana. It's been a lot of rain along that front. I'll show you that in just a second over the past 24 hours, and even a few areas of some light rain up in the northern and northwestern sections of North Carolina early this morning, but certainly still the most widespread rain is west of the mountains, parts of Kentucky and Tennessee down through Alabama and Mississippi seeing the lion's share of the rain early this morning. Now here are the 24-hour rain totals. You have some totals up over 3 and 4 inches plus over parts of southeastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and southwestern Alabama. That's where the rain certainly was most significant over the past 24 hours. And now that front is on the move, slowly dropping southeastward. And as that front drops through the region, we here in the Carolinas will have an enhanced chance of scattered showers and probably even a few thunderstorms too as this front drops through the region. Let me show you the latest run of the high-resolution rapid refresh modeling this morning. A lot of times this overdoes precipitation, but I think it's keying on the correct ideas here as we go through the day. Here we are around lunchtime. That band of better shower chances dropping southeast, and then as a little bit of instability creeps in this afternoon, that's when we have the chance of a few thunderstorms developing in scattered fashion across parts of the region. Highs today will be warm. 83 in Fayetteville, 84 in Columbia and Charleston, maybe well up into the 70s again for Raleigh and Charlotte, and around 70 in the Triad region. Now, behind the front, some cooler air moves in. High pressure, pretty potent area of high pressure over the northeast and the Great Lakes region, wedges down the eastern side of the mountains tomorrow. Now, it's really looking like an improved forecast over what we thought earlier in the week here for Thursday, tomorrow, across a lot of the region. Rain will creep into the westernmost Carolinas, but I think a lot of North Carolina will wind up with a mainly dry day tomorrow. Your highs tomorrow will be cooler with that northeasterly flow, a lot of upper 50s to lower 60s out there. And then the rains will arrive. Timing differences still exist on the models, but I still think at least by Friday afternoon, a pretty rainy setup, and that continues into Friday night as well. The RPM modeling here, this is what basically occurs today in terms of rain totals, and then we add these numbers to that Friday afternoon and into portions of Friday evening. As well. Now, with the clouds and the rain moving in Friday, our temperatures Friday will depend on the timing of that. The Futurecast modeling is earlier than a lot of models, and it still keeps us in the 40s. I'm going to go with the idea of maybe some upper 40s for the I-85 corridor Friday, but we may need to adjust that depending on the timing of the arrival of that heavier, or I should say the thicker cloud cover and the rain as Friday unfolds. Now, here's the setup for Saturday. That wedge will try to erode. It still looks like for Saturday, a lot of cloud cover lingering around, and at least through Saturday morning, rain chances persisting. I'll show you that in the higher resolution modeling in just a moment. But, again, this all gets swept out by Sunday. Sunday's weather looking quite nice as we get a drier air mass moving in. And it looks like it stays very nice for us right on through at least the first half of next week. All right, so let's look at the Canadian model. This is the Canadian model valid Friday evening, and a couple things to note here. You can notice the isobars indicating that wedge in place, and that's a pretty wet setup here across the region for Friday into Friday night. This is the Saturday morning precipitation on the Canadian, so you notice it still generates a good deal of rain Saturday morning before that system exits. Now, Before we get more into detail with the weekend system, let's talk about today. All right. So here is the again that one of those high resolution models. This is the 4 kilometer NAM model, and this is valid 4 o'clock this afternoon. You can see that scattered shower and a few shower activity with a few thunderstorms involved. There we go out to 6 o'clock local time, Eastern time this evening, and then finally out to let's see, that'd be 9 p.m. Eastern time. All right, this is the CAPE values. That's just a measure of the atmospheric instability this afternoon there on the 4 kilometer NAM. This is a snapshot from 2 p.m. and you can see it's not a tremendous amount of instability, but enough there that you could get some rumbles of thunder. All right, and here's a different perspective of that high resolution rapid refresh model. This is noon. You go out to 3 p.m. and then finally out to 6 p.m. and you can see the scattering of some showers and thunderstorms out there. Speaking of the instability values, this is what it looked like on the 0Z GFS. Again, not a huge amount of instability there, but enough that you might be able to pop a few thunderstorms this afternoon across parts of the region. There's this afternoon's precip on the GFS. Now we get on out to tomorrow. This is valid early on our Thursday afternoon. That is a big sprawling area of high pressure, very classically damming down the eastern side of the mountains, and a wedge scenario in play. And that's what it looks like here by Friday early evening. That's even a little bit of a high pressure developing over eastern Virginia. So again, you notice here, this is precipitation through Thursday afternoon. You notice, again, maybe the westernmost, let me draw that a little better, maybe the westernmost Carolinas seeing a little bit of that precipitation. But I think a lot of it's probably now staying dry tomorrow. And then here we go into Friday. This is the precipitation through the morning hours Friday, and then there's Friday afternoon. You can see that precipitation gradually spreading in there as we go through the afternoon hours on the GFS modeling. And in response to that, these are your high temperatures Friday afternoon on the GFS, and you can see a lot of those 40s even down into Georgia with that wedge in place. Now we get out to Saturday. This is Saturday morning, around daybreak, and then this is the precipitation that falls through the morning hours on Saturday. So you see there's still some precipitation out there, and the European's on board with this scenario too. I didn't put any European charts in here today, but the European is on board with this as well, and keeping the rain chances going at least for Saturday morning before you see a decrease in the rain coverage as you get into Saturday afternoon. But here we go by Sunday. Look at this. This is Sunday afternoon's precipitation, high and dry across the region, looking very, very nice. This is Monday, high pressure overhead. It looks like a sunny day Monday. So we really do dry things out significantly for Sunday, and I think that basically dry setup will then persist through at least the first half of next week. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody have a wonderful day, and God bless.